Welcome back to Hutchinson, Kansas and the Hutchinson Sports Arena. The NJCAA Division I Men's Basketball Tournament back here for day 2. This has been the site of the national tournament every year since 1949. This beautiful sports arena first came into existence in the 1951-52 season, and this might be the highest level of basketball we've ever seen here at the national tournament. Brandon, did you have a great day yesterday?
My goodness. I mean, we got the upsets. We got the powerhouse teams getting things done. We got to see Jeff Nwankwo play like Jeff Nwankwo, which is always great when you have a star that comes in and performs to the level that you expect, getting to kind of show off how much talent there really is in junior college basketball. That was great to see.
Day 1, the stars showed up. Let's do a quick recap of day 1, if we shall. Game 1, Walters State, 85-82. Maybe an upset, 17-16. Walters State really showed that they belonged. A great reminder, junior college basketball is played well throughout the country. Game 2, we have Cali over Allegheny. As you mentioned, Jeff Nwankwo, really impressive, 87-64 win over Allegheny. We were fortunate enough to have the pride of Allegheny, Steve Francis, join us on the show yesterday. Panola, super impressive, 84-73 over Jones. I guess we'll never know, South Plains versus Jones, what could have been. Trinity Valley in Game 4 with a 61-54 win over Georgia Highlands. Odessa bludgeoned Trinidad State 81-52. Trinidad State maybe still frozen. And Wallace State with an incredibly impressive 76-64 win over Lee. If there's one team that maybe stuck out yesterday, to me it's Wallace State.
100%. I completely agree. Running 6 deep, Jimmy Williams showed just how good he really is. And Eason, the big man, was maybe kind of like my favorite guy of the day that we just didn't really know a lot about. And you watched him and went, oh man, you literally just changed your life today. And that's always one of my favorite parts of this whole tournament.
Yeah, PJ Eason is a walking double-double who probably, when he wakes up today, probably has heard from more schools in the last 12 hours than he has in the first 20 years of his life. So great day for Jimmy Eason. As we transition to day 2, we have another 6 games today. The first 2 games will end the round of 24. Connor State versus Moberly. Those young men are warming up behind us. From there we go Hutch and Salkehatchie, the great Blue Dragons, the power of junior college basketball, the winningest program in NJCAA history, versus the Cinderella team from Salkehatchie, who at this time last year didn't even have a basketball program. And then we get into the round of 16 games. This is the heavyweight round of junior college basketball, and one can argue where the real tournament begins. We have Barton, Walters State, Northwest Cali, South Plains Panola, and Triton, Trinity Valley. Wow.
I mean, all year you and I get on the phone, we talk about the great games that we're watching online and you know, what do we got coming up this week or whatever. But the treat of being able to sit here courtside and watch these teams, you know, go after it at Hutch is pretty incredible.
Now we're going to get into the game that's coming up, you know, here momentarily. But let's talk about the round of 16 games, right? 4 teams have already won. 4 teams with the bye. I picked Northwest Florida as my national champion. You chose Cali. That's the first game of the round of 16. Talk a little bit about what you're thinking, Northwest Florida versus Cali.
You know, I think it's just a very interesting matchup where you have a Cali team that can really go toe-to-toe at just about every position with Northwest Florida, which in years past has not been the case. You know, there's somebody, if they were able to get a win over Northwest, it's they were able to just make more shots or, you know, for whatever reason that day, but they weren't really able to match up in the way that I think Cali can. And again, we turn to who are your stars, who are the guys that are going to really hold things down. Corey Thomas was fantastic yesterday. He really is a problem, not only on the glass, but as well as protecting the rim. And then Jeff Nwankwo, people are going to be so sick and tired of hearing me say his name. Well, tough. That's too bad.
You're going to hear more of it.
You're going to hear it a lot.
And Tavion Banks, as a freshman, came into the tournament last year, took the tournament by storm. Northwest was runner-up. Tavion Banks may have been their best player throughout that tournament run. Maybe a little bit of a sophomore slump, but we're going to get to see Tavion Banks, who probably was preseason one of the top 5 picks to be National Player of the Year, versus Jeff Nwankwo. That's going to be a terrific matchup on the wing. After that, South Plains Panola. We got Region 5 versus Region 14, 2 Texas schools that don't play each other regularly. This is a great matchup.
Yeah, and it's going to be fun for everybody to really get to see just how big and strong and physical South Plains is. Malik Ewan, good chance to be winner National Player of the Year this year. You know, you've got Jabari McGee, who's committed to UAB, that looks like a defensive end playing point guard for him. He can score at all levels. They really can just kind of get things done from everywhere. But Panola was pretty darn impressive yesterday themselves. A lot of talent on that team. Coach Joe is going to have them ready to go.
Kuligowski.
Thank you. My goodness.
Good Polish name.
I went with the. I tried to start it, and I said, you know what?
Coach Joe.
I'm going to eject.
I got abort. I got your back here. So let's talk about the game with the young men coming up right behind us. Connor State, 31-2 on the season. Number 19 seed, maybe one of the most polarizing teams in the country. We've talked ad nauseum about their schedule throughout the season, or lack thereof, but they went through a difficult Oklahoma league that has good players, good coaches, and they ran right through it. And here they are, 31-2. Two of my favorite players, Braden Hubbard, 6'6", 225-pound wing from Tulsa, Oklahoma, 25 points, 11 rebounds, 84% from the free throw line. And then a freshman that's going to be, I think his life's going to change this week with a good showing, Buddy Hammer Jr., 14 points, 7 rebounds, incredible leaping ability, inside presence for Connor State.
Really disappointed that Buddy Hammer Jr. is not a left-handed power pitcher. 6'7".
He feels like John Rocker.
He does. Just bringing the heat. But yeah, we've talked about Connor State's schedule. Their only conference loss, a three-pointer to
NEO.
Who is more than talented enough to be here. Braden Hubbard, as good as anybody in this tournament, realistically. So it's going to be interesting to kind of see if they could just keep that roll going, where they haven't been battle-tested like some of these other teams, Moberly included. But sometimes you're just talented enough that it doesn't matter.
Absolutely right. And, Connor State's guards have been really good this year, but they're an inside dominant team, right? They're going to go as the two big guys inside go. Now, we flipped the script. Moberly, a very perimeter-oriented team, right? Their strength is going to be on the perimeter. A lot of guys who are very skilled on the outside. Moberly, very good defensively against a really tough schedule, only holding opponents to 29% three-point percentage from there, holding opponents to under 68 points a game. Very good defensive Moberly team.
Yeah, one of the best coach teams in the country. Something to circle. Xavier Sykes, their star point guard, walking around with a boot, has a little plantar fasciitis going on, says he's going to be fine, but he is a water bug, and if that slows him down, that kind of changes the dynamic for Moberly a little bit, but they can shoot and score from all over the floor. They have a lot of other places that they can go, so kind of keep an eye on the point guard situation for Moberly.
And maybe a great opportunity for 6'2" Nelson Reynolds, right? He's played in all 33 games for them. He's been very good. He had big shots in their region and district tournaments. He's been very solid for them for 2 years. So this could be his Wally Pipp, Lou Gehrig moment today, right? So when you come to the national tournament, the stars have to show up. But it's a lot of times, how good are your supporting pieces? Can they help support your stars?
Yeah.
And that could be the difference. I think we have an amazing slate of basketball today. I can't wait to get into it. If you haven't done so already, make sure that you have subscribed to ESPN+. This is the best basketball tournament in the entire country. Make sure you're watching it. Thanks for tuning in, and everybody have a great basketball day. Stay with us as we'll have updates throughout the day.